A very good morning to all. It is an honor for me, Sejal Jain, MSc representative in Students Academic Board, to serve you all as the anchor for this workshop. I am honored to greet a warm welcome to all who will be attending this seminar on writing thesis and research papers in MS Word, which will be led by one of the brightest students of our institute. I'd like to start with introducing the speaker for this workshop, Mr. Rupak Bhaumik. Mr. Rupak is a research scholar at the Department of Chemical Engineering, IIT Guwahati, in multi-phase flow and CFD modeling. He earned his BTech in Chemical Engineering from NIT Agartala and MTech from IIT Guwahati itself. As you all know, academic writing is an essential part of higher education. Thus, our speaker is an expert in OpenFOAM, ANSYS, MATLAB, and Microsoft Office. Students Academic Board is overwhelmed to organize this workshop jointly with Research and Industrial Conclave 2023 and hopes that all the attendees get the best optimum output from this session. The important highlights of this session will be introduction to MS Word interface, font and paragraph formatting, document editing, and heading style formatting and customization. If any one of you wants to ask any question during the session, I request you to patiently raise your hand and the online participants can write it up into the chat box. We'll address the query of every participant. So, not delaying more, let's start with the event. Thank you.
Okay, Sejal. So good morning, everyone. So before starting, sir, I would like to know what your expectation. What are the expectations of this one? Like accordingly, I can design my content for the next session or maybe something tomorrow. So what are the expectations you want to learn from this one? Anyone?
Like we do basic MS Word, we do report writing and all that content. But our expectation is little advanced level so that we know things. Generally, we don't use it, but it is very important.
Okay. Okay. Noted. Anyone? Anyone from online? So you can write it on chat box.
Like especially the content page that link because
Okay, that is the you're talking about the master documents. Yeah, that will cover tomorrow. That will cover tomorrow. Okay, so let me give you the brief introductions about this session. Why? So today, like, what will you see? Like the basics of MS Word. So, I hope most of you know that basic, but still for some brush up. So we'll go through the basics of MS Word, the different functions and features that MS Word is offering us, and then so then tomorrow will the tomorrow first sessions will do some little bit of like customization part. So most of the customization that is important, and like customizing templates, and then how to, like, if you are working for if you are writing thesis. So that is like, for example, the 200 to 50 pages. So it is very difficult to manage in a single document, right? So what you can do, like if some of you know the latex, so what is it? You can write it in chapter wise, right? Chapter wise or the section wise. So that can be done in MS Word also. If you have multiple documents, chapter wise multiple documents, so once you complete all those chapters, so you can connect it in a single document. That is called the master document. So we'll see that also. And we'll see this customization or template customization. So like every time when you are using MS Word, so if you it's a prior time, if you have some customized template based on your requirement, based on the format of thesis. So if you once you are you created a custom template like based on your requirements, and that template you can use multiple times. You don't need to format all these things like the spacings and the like text size, font size, all these things. You don't need to do it every time. So when you are writing your chapters or the papers, whatever it is. So that is one thing that will this is our the primary objective of this workshop, the customization parts. Once you have this custom template, then chapter wise you write your thesis chapter wise, and then you connect it using the master document part. So we'll see the tomorrow. Today is on mainly the different features of MS Word with some examples. So the most of these workshop sessions will be on hands-on session. So if you have any queries or if you have stuck somewhere, please ask questions. Don't hesitate to ask. Online peoples also, you can ask, raise your hand online, or you can write your questions on chat box. So first session today we'll see the like introductions, the introductions of MS Word interface. We'll see the different the interface, how the interface is looking, and what are the functions that we have. Then we'll see the font and paragraph formattings. Then document editing. So in the document editing is mostly like so document editing mostly have like copy paste, and then track changes, track changes, and then the how to accept or reject those changes. So those things will cover in the document editing. Then the important parts, the important topic, that is heading style, formatting, and customization. So you should have follow this. You should like make a habit of using heading style. So why it is important? Because most of the times what I see, like most of people, like after writing the thesis, then manually you have to give the table of contents, list of figures, list of tables. Now if you use the heading style, that the heading style according to your requirements, so that will reduce your lot of time to writing your thesis. So that if you are using that, the two things, one is that heading style, and this another thing is the captions of your figure and tables. So if you give it on using the function that MS Word is offering, so that will reduce your lot of time. Okay. So you should make a habit of using those two, the heading styles and the inserting captions using the reference tab that you have. You'll see that, and so that will reduce time, lot of time that will be reducing, and then it will make the like thesis or more professional or more organized way. So for example, so when you are sending your thesis to your professors or guide, so he may ask you to some edit or something. So once you change in one figure, then you have to look into all the page numbers manually. You have to check all these things manually, right? You have to say same. You have to change the figure numbers. You have to change the accordingly. You have to change the page number as well in the list of figures or list of tables. But if you use that the insert captions and then heading style, so that will, you don't need to do anything. So only things, you just click on update and automatically your documents will be updated based on the whatever you have changes you have made in your documents. Okay. So and then like the some similar the page setups and the page layouts and saying, and then the important part like inserting and formatting figures, tables, and equations. Then formatting header, footer, and page numbers. So in some of the formatting, like there is some requirement that you have to write your header as a heading in odd pages and subheading in even pages. So now again then it is a tedious job if you are doing it manually, right? Now according to content, if you are removing some content or if you are adding some content, same things, your heading might your heading pages or subheading pages might change, right? So same things, there is some options in MS Word which you can automatically choose that the subheading or heading as a your header or your footer. So then at the end of the day, then we'll have some question answer session. So this is all about the day one. In day two, that is tomorrow. So tomorrow is mostly like first sessions we'll be talking about the creating custom template, customized template. We'll consider some a sample thesis format, and then we'll work on it. And the second session is we'll do some practice example, like practice exercise based on some customization, template customization. Then finally we'll have the master document creating. So that is one of the important things for writing a thesis, because you will be working on a like with a huge volume of text and all these things. So if you are writing it in a single page, so that would be difficult for you. So you can write it in chapter wise, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. Then after that, once you complete all these chapters, then you can create your master documents where you will be connecting all these chapters sequence wise. Okay. So and I will also talk about the reference and bibliography. So there are different applications for reference and bibliography, like EndNote, Mendeley. So I'll be covering here Mendeley because it's a free version, a free license. EndNote, you need to you buy the license for EndNote. So those who have EndNote, you can use it. So, but here in this workshops, I'll be covering for general purposes. I'll be covering Mendeley. So I'll show you how to import and the citations and all these things from Mendeley. And then if you have certain requirement like the bibliography reference formatting, so how to edit the existing citation formatting in Mendeley, and then how you can import it to the Word. Okay. So please install the Mendeley desktops and the plugin and the MS Word plugin. So for tomorrow sessions. So if not done, then please install it by today. So tomorrow sessions, it will be easier for you to follow. So the finally will I'll give you some tips and tricks that I have learned throughout the time, some tips and tricks how to reduce your times or those things we'll discuss. So these are the content for the for next 2 days. Then so without any further delay, so let's start our workshops today. So when you open the Word, so this Word interface will look like this. So on the left hand side, you will have some recent documents, like some recent documents, if any, and then you have like lot of templates, inbuilt templates. The left hand side, you will have a lot of inbuilt templates. You have the category wise template also. These are the different templates. So you have this the categorized template also here. You also can search online templates if you have some if you have some particular requirements that you can search in online also. So again, then these are the inbuilt templates. Now you can customize your own template according to your requirements. So this is our primary objectives of these workshops. So we'll see how this is. So now, so for examples, now if you let us open a blank document. So these are the basic Word interface here. You see, so this one is called as your quick access bar. So what it is, the quick access bar is a customized toolbar that provides you quick access to commonly used terms. For example, save, you can save, then copy paste, or do undo. So those are the like your commonly used commands that is there in the quick access toolbar. So you can customize it according to your requirement. So for example, so you are using the copy paste, the commonly used term for you, maybe the copy paste terms, or maybe something else like auto saver or something. So accordingly you can customize it. So if you see that there is a drop down column is there, drop downs in that drop down, from the drop downs you can customize your what is requirement and accordingly. So then this whole part is called your ribbon. So the ribbon have multiple tabs, and each tabs have different groups with which will give you the different features and functions of MS Word. So we'll see all these tabs one by one in our subsequent sessions. So this like home insert, those things, the design layouts, those things called tab. So each tab have different groups. Now if you see here, uh, there is one arrow sign is there. So this arrow sign, like this is called dialog bog launcher. Though each tab have a lot of features and function which cannot be accommodated in the main window. So once you click on this dialog launch launcher, you will save some additional features of the particular tab. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Sorry, I didn't get. No, yeah, that is you just ignore the grammar eligible part is this, and yeah, it's just an add-on. Add-on. Please ignore that grammarly the tab here. It's just a plugin from some third-party sources. So this dialog block launchers will give an additional features that are available in MS Word. So then you see here this. Sorry. So here this is called your status bar. So in the status bar, like the document information, so you can get the document information like the number of pages, how many number of pages you have in the documents, on which pages you are there, how many words are there, what counts, and then paragraph counts. Same things, all the bars, the interfaces, everything you can customize according to your requirement. So we'll see how you can customize all this your bar also. We'll see that in subsequent sections. Then you have different view buttons, different types of view buttons. So if I want to only read your document, so that view options will help you. And then you have print, how, like if you want to print it, so once you print, once you give the print, how the documents will look like. Now if you are uploading your documents to the website, so in the web page, how your documents will look like, so those things you can see from this view button. So these are here you have this zoom sections, like you can zoom in or zoom out your documents. One thing, so for if you want to see how your documents, or the text size or the figure will look like once you print it, so always you should see it on 100% zoom. So that is the actual size of your documents, actual size of a document. So that will that size will give you that in the printout. So if you want to see that, you always see it in 100% zoom in conditions. So here you have the title bar. The documents one is the title bar. So this will show you the title of your documents. If it is not saved, then it will comes under document 1, document 2, document 3, something like that. Okay. Then you have Windows control here. So here you can minimize, maximize. Yeah. ऑनलाइन मिलना चाहिए नहीं चलेगा नहीं it's okay. So there's window control, like minimizing or restoring, minimizing, maximizing, or closing the documents. That is all about the Windows control. Now you have scrolling bar here. So this scrolling bar will help you to change your pages or go up and down. Then if you are having like So multiple pages at a time. If you want to show it, view it multiple pages at a time, so you might get a scrolling bars at at this position also. Okay. So then you have this roller. One is vertical roller and the horizontal roller. So you see in the roller that this gray part is representing your amount of margin that you have given to the documents. This is the amount of margin. And here you have different you see different arrow sign. So if you see here the different arrow sign, the up the top the left hand side one, so you see two triangle, one is upward and one downward triangle and one rectangle. So this is the three different indent conditions. So indent is nothing but the distance sorry distance the distance between the your text and from the your margin. The distance between margin and text is nothing but the indent. So you can give your text in different indent, like first line indent, hanging indent, and left indent. So first line indent will only change the distance between your first line of the paragraph and the margin. And the subsequent lines, there will be no gap between that subsequent line from your margin. For if you use the first line indent, hanging indent is like the other than first lines, that your rest of the text or whatever the paragraphs you have selected, so those will be indented for the hanging indent. We'll see with an example and in our subsequent section. So and then left indent will, if you want to give with the whole paragraphs or whole documents, if you want to give some indents, then you will be using left indent or the right indent. If you want some gap in the right side of my documents, that I'll use the right indent, or the left. If I want to give some gap in left, then I'll use the left indent. Okay. So for example, if in my documents, if I want to change the margin, I can change this margin using the ruler. One thing, if anyone is not showing your this ruler, then you have to enable it in going to the view tab. In view tab, you can enable or disable your ruler. So this, if you want to change your margin, then what you can do is that you just okay, we'll see it in subsequent in examples. We'll do it in example with examples, and that will be more easier. So this is all about the if you about the interface of Word. So now let's go to this Word accordingly. So before starting our to creating or seeing this different features of MS Word, so first things we'll change some options, we'll change some settings of MS Word. That is more important for like for examples, like the most important is that turning on the auto recovery. So most of the times what happen, like for some reasons we don't know the save the documents or something, so that we lost the documents, right? So if you have turned on this auto recovery, for example, every 5 minutes, the Word will save your documents, that auto save and auto recovery, those things. So Word will automatically save your documents in every 5 minutes, whatever the changes you have made. So let's see something. So in the file menu, let's see in file menu. So a file menu, you have different options like document info. These are all of you know that new, open, save, and save as. So what you will be seeing that the options. So in general setting options, you can keep it as it is, or if you want to customize this, you do it. I'll show you some important settings that you need to. So for example, in proofing that autocorrect option. So now if you want if you want if you don't want any disturbances or any red marks in your text during your writing, so you can turn off your autocorrect options. Later on, if you want to check your spellings or grammar, that have options in the word itself, in under the review tab, so that you can do. Now for like generally, like when you're writing your documents, so each time the word, if you are the spelling, if your spelling is wrong, or some you are using some scientific terms that are not the commonly used word, so what will show you some red mark signs or something. Uh-huh. Okay. So go to the file and then option. Click on file. Then option. Okay. Chetan. So that here is this autocorrect option. From that autocorrect option, if you want to like, you can change it accordingly. So for time being, let us keep it here, so you can see that how it's look like. So if you don't want any disturbances, if you don't want to look see that red mark, so you can turn it off. Once you complete your document, then you can check your spellings and grammar. So same things for spelling, autocorrect, and then spelling, the check spelling as you type. So you can disable it. Then you have grammars and also these things. If you want, you can change it. So the important part is the saving option. So see, the save auto recovery information every 10 minutes. So now every time it is enabled that every 10 minutes, so what will recover or what will auto save that my documents in every 10 minutes. Now if you want to reduce the time, so let's say I want to save it in every 5 minutes, so you can change it accordingly. Then you can change your default file locations, where you want to save your documents, default locations, and auto recover file locations. So if you want in a particular folders in a particular drive, so then you can change your locations also in that. So that is based on your requirements. Then default language. So one of like this language, one of the important things why it is like, you have two different types of like the one is based on that US English, and then the UK English. So those two have the certain word is there to have different spelling, right? Certain words, there's a different spelling. So you need to choose your default language settings accordingly. So based on that red marks is coming. So for example, color, COLOR, COLOUR. Now if you are choosing the US English, and then you are writing the color in UK English, so then that will give you a red mark. Okay, so you can select your default English, then the English India. Then now you have this Indian versions of English also. Then you have English US, so that you can based on your requirements, or you can set your the default language also. So now see in advanced. See here in advanced tab, there copy paste. You have a different copy pasting options, like pasting with same documents. You have, if you see the drop down, or you have different marks, more keep text only. So this is all this the default pasting option. So for example, so you have copied something from internet, so that have different background colors, right? So once you paste it in your document, so that by default, if you are using just directly the paste options or control plus V, so by default, whatever the formatting that have that the text have in the internet sources, so with including backgrounds and all, you will get it right. Now if you use some different other options like keep text only or merge formatting or merge formattings with the documents, so that options, so those are the options that we will see how those options are work. So you can change your default settings now. So for example, let's say like keep it as it is, the keep source formatting, pasting between documents, also keep source formatting. Then you have styles and pasting from other programs, and insert paste pictures inline with text, so that you can change inline with text or in the mostly we use in thesis and in top and bottom. Top and bottom is the we I have my figures, so the text will be either at the top of the and at the top of the figures and at the bottom. So in between or left and right, there will not be any text there. So change it to the top and bottom. So then if you change it, then you don't need to change in every figures. Otherwise, you have to change it in every figures. Every figures using the picture or the picture formatting. So here it is, the image size and quality. You see here the default resolution is 200 ppi. Okay, so this the default resolution is 200 pixels. Now, for example, so you have your the image that is or the graph user you have created is at the 1200 dpi. Now, if your setting is default, then once you import it or once you insert in your documents, automatically Word will reduce its quality or its resolution. So you'll see why this the image size are not like the quality of image are not same. What I am seeing is at the individual image and in Word. So that is because of this. If it is default this 220 dpi, so it will automatically reduce your resolutions. Now to see whatever the image quality that you have, the same quality if you want to in your documents, so just you select here the high fidelity. So whatever the quality your graph or your image have, so the same quality you can see it in the your documents as well. Sorry? You don't have. In advance, go to the advance and then his version is maybe because of the version. So you are from IIT Guwahati, right? So use it like you have like now it's a free. Those who are from IIT Guwahati, it's a free, right? So you can like, or else the maximum, whatever the maximum amount is there, so that you can choose your default. Most probably in 10. That is the option. Don't compress in 5. Yes, that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying that this will make the file heavier.
Yeah. So
High fidelity.
yeah, yes, little bit heavier. Now, if you want to change it, then if you want like with single documents in MS Word, one single documents you can make it single documents or most probably 512 MB. A single documents can be 512 MB till single document. So you can, so that would not be any problem. So like if you don't want to compress your images or don't want to reduce your resolution. Whatever the changes you will be making, so now then the current documents will not, like you have to restart your Word again. So that you have to restart your Word again. Go to the option, file. Okay, Chetan, MacBook. MacBook है MacBook. ऑप्शन की जगह कुछ और होगा. हाँ या प्रेफरेंस समथिंग कुछ ऐसा हो चेक कर ले मिल गया हाँ क्या है
अभी पता नहीं चल रहा है
क्या
क्या
चैट बॉक्स
है चैट बॉक्स इधर कोई बुला था
उस पर
आप हम इधर बोले थे कि जाओ
so those who are in online if you have any questions you can ask sorry
While writing, we are thinking of after writing the text, we want to that to look like that.
no so that is what is the meaning like after once you complete your document so there is no meaning of like using the autocorrect so autocorrect okay yeah yes
Already written text.
yes and also you can check it if you don't want to turn on your autocorrect so use it on the spelling options spelling and grammar so in under review tabs you'll have a spelling and grammar so that will be more easier for you if you are turning off the autocorrect again now otherwise what you'll have to do like if you are turning on autocorrect you have to go through the whole documents right you have to go through the whole document but if you are if you are doing it using spelling and grammar so that only show you the whole document that only show you what is the spelling mistakes is there in your documents so accordingly you can change it here itself in there will be one additional tab will open if you click on the spelling and grammar so that will be more easier for you once you complete your document mila chetan
यहाँ पे कौन
किस
सी
में?
सेटिंग चेंज कर रहे हो
ये अभी कौन सा वाला नहीं मिल रहा है
जो वर्ड ऑप्शन बोलो
okay image qualities and all right ये देखिए इमेज पिक्चर्स हाँ figures track figures track एडिट में जाना एडिट में क्या है नीचे और कुछ है okay you do one thing for time being so just ignore that part I'll tell you tomorrow I'll look into it and tell you tomorrow. Mac okay if you are not showing this starting so like for timing just ignore it I'll tell you tomorrow I don't like I have limited knowledge of Mac so I'll have to say it So now see there is now the customized ribbon. So here this is the customizing your ribbon tabs. What are the things that you want in your customer in your ribbons, and like for in a particular ribbon, for example, in home ribbon, what are the groups that you want, and if you want others like according to, for example, you can keep all the commonly used groups, all the commonly used features that you are using for creating your documents, that you can keep it as an the default in the default tab and groups, so that you can change under the customize ribbon option. See here, like you can disable or enable the main tabs, whatever the tabs that you want, you can disable it, enable it. Then you can also create a new groups or new tabs as per your requirements, so that the available functions or features that are there in the lab side. So from that you can select it, and then you can add it to your group, which group you want it, you want to add it under which groups or which tabs, that you can do it accordingly. Okay, so for example, for time being, let's keep it as it is as default settings for that. Then you have the quick access toolbar. So from here also you can change it. So now the setting is that you have save, undo, redo, and touch a mouse cursor. That is that. So if you want to change, if you want other options as well. For example, I think they have auto correct. So you can add it to the autocorrect options. You can add it to the quick access bar. So if you want your turn it on or off, so that you can do it easily. You don't need to go to there like again every time. You don't need to go to there. So turn it on or off according to your requirements. So these are some add-in settings, like if you are using Grammarly or if you are using Mandely, so those things, or if you're using any third-party equation editor, so that you can do it under the add-in settings. So automatically, if it is not creating a plugin automatically, so you can come to your here is in add-in options, and then accordingly you can manage your thus add-in options from here. So this is all about the MS Word interfaces. So if you are facing or if you are have any questions. Sorry. Yeah. Once you come after this end of the workshops, I'll send all of you the soft copy of the documents around like these documents around 55 pages of documents. So I'll send it on after completion. So one more thing that make a habit of using shortcut keys. So the MS Word have multiple different inbuilt shortcuts, and then also you can create your own keyboard shortcut as well. So same thing for commonly used commands, you can create your own shortcuts as well. So that you'll see it how you So now to customize your keyboard shortcut. So again, under the custom ribbons, the customized ribbons at the left at the bottom, so you have keyboard shortcuts customizations. Okay, so here you can change your inbuilt customer inbuilt whatever the inbuilt shortcut settings is there. So you can change, for example, if the for copying it says Control plus C. So then if you want to change it, that also you can do it. That you can do it selecting this category under which commands you want to change it, so that you can do it, and you can add your the new shortcuts according to your requirements. So for example, so you are assigning some things that already there inbuilt is there. So MS Word will give you warning. So this shortcut is already there for this command. So now if you want to rewrite it, or if you want to change your shortcut, so that will give you a warning. So you don't need to bother about it. So if it is already there, so that will give you a warning. Okay, so then you can change it if you want. If you don't want that, what are the inbuilt is there, if you don't want that, then you can assign your according to your requirements. Okay, so that in that way it will help you to reduce your time. So if you are using the shortcut, for example, copy paste, otherwise you have to right click on it and then copy, then paste it. So if you are using Control C and Control V, that will be more easier, more convenient for you. So now the next section is the font and paragraph formatting. It doesn't matter. Actually, what is the important thing is that you have to follow it throughout the document. Same thing. So, for example, one spelling you have written those different spellings, like though to have have different spelling. For example, color or different or other word. So for example, color you have written in UK English, and other word that have difference you have written in US English. So that will be a problem in that. So it will not be uniform. So main thing is that you have to, whatever the language you are using, whatever the English you are using, whether it is UK English or it is US English, right? You have to you follow it thoroughly uniformly throughout the documents. That is requirements. If you see the journal also, so this thing somewhere, like if journal is not specified now which English you have to write, so then you can choose it accordingly. So Indian English is based on UK English. Okay, so now the font and paragraph formatting. So font, there are multiple different types of fonts are there in MS Word. So two important the categories of formats. One is serif and sans serif. These two, serif comes under like the Times of New Roman. So serif font are mostly used to in documents. Those will be printed, like in your thesis or in your paper. So that because it is more easier to see that in the printed forms. I'll show you some. So if you see the serif fonts here, you have some lines at the bottom, are lines and length, and the sans serif, those are like the Arial fonts, Helvetica. Those fonts are that comes under sans serif category. The serif category is like the Times New Roman, Georgia, Grammont. Those are comes under the serif. So in general, that serif font used to the document, those will be you'll be printing or something. Those things are for, like, for example, for making your presentation, PPT presentation, all things. So mostly in generally people use that sans serif font, that Arial font or something else. Okay, so the font sizes and all that, you have, see, here you have this tab under the home tabs. You have font, that font groups, right? Font groups. So these are the commonly used, or the groups are already there, like the font style, then size. Then you have two button is there, that the cap in to this A is showing these two. So this is, one is to reduce your font size and one is to increase your font size, right? So that is some shortcut is there. Then you have different like bold, italic, so those things are there. Like, let's say click on in the launcher, dialog launcher box. So from the dialog launcher box, then what you can do, like based on your requirements, you can set your default font settings. Like, see, you have font for body font, like I need a regular, or what about this, like for example, mostly we use Times New Roman. Then you can select the size 12. So now if you then, once you select the set as default, then you see right now here it is showing as Calibri, right? So if you are have changes it, the font I have changed the Times New Romans, and the size is the 12, it's showing as 11. So once you click change your size, so then now there is options will come whether you want those changes for these documents only, or for all of your future documents. So that you can select, for example, let's say we are will be following the same font and all for our future documents as well. So if you want it for only this document, then you can select it. Now see, the setting has been changed. Now from Calibri, now it has come a Times New Roman. So whenever now, if you are whenever you are opening your MS Word now, so every time the whatever you will be writing, so it will the by default the font style will be your Times New Roman, and the font size will be 12. So other options are also there. Like in advanced, if you see then in advanced, that the character spacing. So right now, so default it is the 100% character spacing is there. So you don't need to change it for the thesis writing purpose. This is like we don't want any extra spaces, or we don't want compress our text, right? In the thesis, right? So those things you can write it, you can keep it as it is. Then if you want to add some text effects, that you can, so you have different text effects is there, so that is not required for a thesis writing. So if you want, if you are preparing some posters or something, or some other documents in yours, so then in that case you can use those settings that for text effects and all other things. So yeah.
The setting in this will for all the documents.
No, this option that came initially. So you have whether you wanted this setting for this document or for all other documents. If you want to only select only these documents, the setting will be applicable for this document only. Now, if you select that all other documents also, so whenever you are writing some things in future also in this word, so the settings will applicable. Two options will come. So now here the one thing, so you have one is subscript and superscript. two things is the subscript and superscript. So for the same things for these, so you can use the shortcut key for subscript and superscript. One is control plus or control shift plus. Check it, control plus and control shift plus. You want you write some things, for example, you want to write it H2O. So for subscript, control plus, or a superscript, I guess it is control shift plus. ऑनलाइन पे किसी का कुछ क्वेरी या ट्रैक कर रहा है कर रहा है ना So say if you are like H2, if I want to write H2, then if you control plus for shortcut for this one is control plus. For subscript it is control plus. Now if I want it, so for example superscript, so control shift plus will the superscript. Otherwise again you have to click it and all these things. So if you use the shortcut, so you can use it. Control plus and control shift plus. For subscript it is control plus. For superscript it is control shift plus. MacBook na. So control plus. Why it is not? No, not this one. Not the numeric. The plus it in that above your keyboard. Not the numeric one. The text plus. So now see here you have like your sentence, your case, the word case. You have sentence case. The sentence case will be or the first letter. The first letter will be or like as it is what you know the first letter. Then you can change, for example. So this is in my sentence case, right? So this is in my sentence case. Now if I want to change it, for example, if I want to make it all the capital word, so you can change it here uppercase. If you select it uppercase, then all the letters will convert into uppercase. Then you have the lowercase options, and then you have the capitalize each word. So yeah, each word will be capitalizing every first letter of every word will be capitalized. Now again you have toggle case. So toggle case will just invert the case. So if the letter is the small case, it will convert to the a capital one. If it is capital, it convert to a small one. So let's see that. So see, whichever the letters was in small case, that is converted to the capital one, and the capital one converted to the small. Now here you have this option that is like a clear all formatting. So like if you have selected, if you have some formatting options, you have some formatting, for example, spacings and all. You have now if you want to like clear it. So then what will it will clear all the format that you have selected. Then it will convert to the default settings. Whatever the default settings you have, so that will converted. If you are selected, the selected text formatting will change to the default settings. Now, if for example you have changes some formattings, then now you don't want those settings. You want the whatever the default settings that you have. So you just select those text or the paragraphs and then click on the clear formatting. So that will clear all the formatting that you have done other than the default formatting. Okay, so a clear formatting is, for example, you have written some paragraph and then you have changed the different styles, spacings, all these things. So now you realize that you don't need those settings. You want whatever the default settings you have set initially, those settings you want. So you don't need to change it again from there. You just select the paragraph that you want to change the formattings, and once you select the paragraphs and then select on this clear all formatting, so that will clear all the formatting that you have done additionally to the default formattings, and it will convert to your default format settings. See, so for example, then I have changes the font size of this text, right? Yeah. That is lessons for the special case. Actually, this actually for thesis writings is no use. For writing thesis or for some of the documents, this the capital case, sentence, all these things, these are no use actually, because sometimes we use initials. I'm not sure about it. Yes, that pronouns also will capitalize. Yeah. As of now, as far as my knowledge, I don't think it is there, but I'll check it once and I'll confirm it tomorrow. Okay. So same for examples like I have changes the font size to 20, but my default font size is 12. No, so I have selected this text, and then if I click on the clear all formatting, see the whatever the format that I have default, it has converted to the 12 formatting. So that way you can clear all the formats, whatever the additional formatting that you have done if you don't need it. But be careful clicking on that formatting, because if you are clicking once you have changed it and you have saved it, and then or you have closed your document, that you are all the formatting is gone. So if you need it only, then you use it. Dialog box in here. This one.
Yes. The font is. So I have changed. Then it will reflect here. Okay. Then what is the meaning of this complex script? But that like different drop down. Same option. Same option. Mostly same option. Where it will be reflect? This one. This one is the main one. Okay, this is for complex text. For example, like in 10, writing equations or equations and all these things. For these things, it is mostly in applicable. But the main text is this.
So now next is the paragraph formatting. So again, so here you have all the initially and you have all this the groups are there. So for example, this is the alignment group alignment. So you have left alignment, right alignment, center alignment, and justify alignment. So left alignment will like your text will be starting aligned to the left margin. For right alignment, it will align to the right margin. Center comes like aligned to the center line, the center line of your documents, and justified will be like aligned to the both the left and right margin. So sometimes like there will be some spacing issue when you are using the justify. So you have to manage it accordingly using hyphen and all. So if it is not looking good, so small there is a small difference is there from spacing, that is fine. But if there is some large difference, then you have to you have to manage it using some hyphen or something like that. So this is the so here see the default setting is right now the default setting is your left alignment. So mostly we use documents we use the justified alignment, right? So then you have this spacing. Here you have different spacing, different line spacing options and all these things. These are the list. The first one is for bullet listing. The second one is for number listings. The third is for the multi-level listing. So like for giving heading, subheading, or chapter number. So that is the you will be using the multi-level listing. So for example, if you are using some steps or something, so in that case you will be using either the bullet listings or the number listings that you have. So these are the three listing categories. Then you have the indent. So for example, for a particular line, if you want to decrease your indent or if you want to increase your indents on, you can use these two commands or the shortcuts here for indent, changing the indent. So this will you decrease your indent. For example, now I have indent here. So if I click on this, see my indent are decreasing. Then again, you can increase your indent and then decrease your indent. So this is for sorting your documents, like if you want to sort it, and if you have some list, or if you want to sort it on based on the alphabetical orders or number, or based on the numbers, that is higher to lower or lower to higher, so then you can use this sort. Then for tables, changing your borders or table colors or drawing the tables or all these things. So that is you have different the table tab is there. Then you have the shading. So if you want to, for example, so I want I want some shadings in that. So select it and then you choose your color. So that will give you a background shade. So whatever the text you have selected, that will give you a background shade if you want it. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So that is like it is something important. So we'll be talking about it in details once when you create the documents, all these things. So that. Yeah, I'll send it to. I have this in documents. I'll send it to you. So these are some of the shortcuts, some of the frequently used shortcuts I have listed out. So there are many, but some of the frequently used shortcuts I have listed out here. So I'll send you the documents that. So some that also the navigation to navigate your documents. Some of the shortcuts are used to navigate your documents. So that also are there. Now, these all are used for the Windows version only. For Mac users, I've given a link in that, like or also you can get it in the Microsoft community website, that you can get it from there for Mac people. Or else I have given it a link. So then on that also you can get it. So now let us see this in detail. So first the default. So let's say we want to change the default settings here. So the default settings from there, like, so let's say justified. So we'll be using the justified one. So for time being, let's say I don't want any indentation. Okay, I don't want any indent. So if you don't want any indent, that you need to keep it as 0. Left and right indent as 0. So this is for left and right indent. Now I want some special indent, that is the special indent is the first line indent and then the hanging indent. So in the special, in there, special, under the special, you have 3 options: none, first line indent, and hanging indent. So if you want indent the every paragraphs, if you want your first line indent, that is after certain amount paragraph, so that you need to select the first line indent. Okay, and then you have to give the amount here. So the by after, so default value for what it is 1.27 centimeters. So if you have certain requirements, or if you have certain different formats, that accordingly you can change it. So for example, if for time being, let us keep it as an 1.27 centimeter. So this is the first line index. Now again, if you don't want your first line index, so if you don't want the first line index, but you want hanging index, when you need hanging index, for example, if I have the list, if I have some list, so the text, if I want my text aligned, the text part, it's the uniform alignment of my text part. So my first line, I don't need alignment in first line, because that at the left side the numbers will be there, right? So if you don't select the hanging indents, so by default what have for those listings, so numbering, hanging indent is there. But if you change it, then you have to change it accordingly. Default is there. If for default it is hanging indent is there. So that is the use of hanging indent for numbering. So number, you have certain your first line will be number. So for example, so you have a paragraphs in that. Now the number one, you have some paragraphs or 2 or 3 lines, right? So first line, you don't need indent first line, but you want indent the subsequent line to line 2 or line 3. So in that case, we'll be using the hanging indents. But for first line indents, but if you have a general paragraph and I want some certain spacing in my first paragraphs, or for example, if I am changing the paragraph, so to show it whether it's a different paragraphs, I need a certain indent or certain spacing in my first paragraph, first line of the paragraph. So in that case, we'll be using the first line indent. Okay, so let me show you how it will be like. So for example, see, I have this 3-4 paragraphs here. ब्रिजेश दिख रहा है ऑनलाइन पे, दिख रहा है कि ना, चेक करना एक बार, क्लियर दिख रहा है ये टेक्स्ट. So for example, so let's say I have these paragraphs, and then so let's say change here. I don't need any left and right indent, but I want my first line indent. Yeah. So what you can do, you can open any Word document that you have in your systems, or open any Word documents. Or write some paragraphs, dummy paragraphs. Okay, so if I select so for example, I've selected the first line, that is 1.27 centimeter. First line, so my document should show that 1.2 centimeter of first line indent, right? So you see every paragraph.
It is some paragraph and it is showing some color.
Okay, yeah. For example, for time being, I'm doing it, but I'll show it. So copy it and make it in multiple paragraphs. So see, I've so every first line of every paragraph have an indent, first line indent of 1.2 centimeter, right? So now let's say, let's give it an. So let's give it some numbers here for each paragraphs. Now see, now it is automatic by default, I guess. It's hanging indent. You see, by default it has a hanging indent. By default it has a hanging indent with a left indent of 0.63. Left indent is So you can change your left indent as well. So by default, it has an hanging indent. Once you select your numbering, so by default, it will have an hanging indent. Now, for examples, I don't need, I don't want. I want to like numberings and the text and are in the same alignment. If I want that, so just select it none. Then okay. Now you see the numbering and the text are in the same alignment. Okay, so once you select the listing, then by default, what will you have some indent, and the hanging indent, what will give some hanging indent. For the default value is 0.63 centimeters. So some of you may seen it that the units in inch also. So that's not an issue. You can change it also, unit if you want. Sorry.
Here, like I numbered them.
Okay.
And then
Okay, so like for example, you don't need those indent. Like you have by default, see you have the hanging indent of 0.63 by default. This is default. Once you select the list numbering, then what will have the default indent of 0.63 hanging indent. Now, so for example, if you don't want it, just select none, and then see how it is changing. You see now the numbers and the text are at the same alignment. So this is all about the indentations. And so here you see you have mirror indents option. So the mirror indents like left and right indent. For the mirror indent, the left and right indents will become inside indent and outside indent. This is applicable when you are printing your documents in both sides. When you're printing your documents in both sides, and the same things will applicable for your margin also. That you have to give a certain amount of extra margin to your inside document, because inside part will be the binding part. So you have to give a certain space for the binding, right, to make it an uniform margin, right? So if you are planning to print your documents in double-sided, then you have to give mirror indent. And same things for margin also. We'll see. We'll look into it how margin how the margins will work for a double-sided or for mirror. But in that, remember when you're talking about mirror, that is nothing but your left and right. That is your inside and outside, right? So for example, if you have odd pages, so for odd number of pages, your left side will be inside, right? For even number of pages, your right side will be your inside. Okay, if you are planning to print it double-sided, then only you have to give the mirror indents. Otherwise, for a single pages, then it will not look good, because one page indented from left side and one page will indented be from right side. Now now the spacing here. So paragraph spacing. So if you are like, let's say I have a heading. So from a heading to my paragraph text, I need an 18 point spacings or 24 point spacing. Okay, so in that is what is for the spacing part, before and after, before paragraphs or after paragraphs, right? Before before a paragraph, so if you want certain spacings for before paragraphs and for after paragraphs. So here for example, it is auto, that is default value. Automatically it will give an 12 point of spacing in between your paragraph. So for example, let's say I'm changing it to 0. See, the paragraph don't have any gap in between paragraphs. There is no gap in between paragraphs. Whatever the line spacing is there, same spacing is there in the paragraphs. So now let's say, so I want a 6 point gap in between that. So if I want 6 point gap in between that, see what will I need to change, whether before it, after or after. See, if you are changing both, for example, if you are giving before 12 and after 12, so in subsequent paragraphs, for example, the paragraph 1 after is 6 point, paragraph 2 before is 6 point, then you will have total gap of 12. So when you are selecting this gap, so be careful with that. Otherwise, like uniformity will not be there. So let's say I am like making it up, before is at 0 and after is 6. You see, I have a 6 point spacing for every paragraph. Now see what happen if I select it for both for both as an 0.6. The spacings will be double. Okay, it will not be any issue now, I guess. Yeah, there's no changes, so it will not be any issue. So next line spacing. So in a paragraph, sort of the line spacing is there. So you have multiple line, like single line, 1.5 lines, the double, at least exactly multiple. So how the line spacing is what? For example, so you have single. So single is like whatever the font size you have selected. For example, so you have selected 12 font size. So though that's 12 will be your line spacings. Okay, so if it is in 1.5 times, so your line spacing will be 18 points. 1.5 times of your font size. The line spacing is 1.5 times. If it is double, then it will be 24 points. So you have option 1.5 double, at least, exactly, and multiple. Exactly, at least is actually the font size. Now you can change it. At least you can change the value, the at least value. You can change the at least value. This is actually more like a customized part. So you can change whatever the value you want. Then you have exactly or multiple. How many multiples you want? For example, like I have 12 fonts. I wanted a 24. That multiple will be my multiple value will be 2. If I want the 36 points spacing, line spacing, then the multiple value will be 3. So these are the different multiple options is there. So let's say for time being, let's say will be the single. Then I don't want any indent throughout my documents, or left, don't want any left for okay, let's give it a first line indent. So first line indent of every paragraph should have a first line indent of 1.2 centimeter. So now you can, that is as default. So my paragraph spacing is before 6 point, after 6 point, line spacing single, left and right indent 0, and for time being, like so I don't want to print my documents both sides, so I don't need to give my mirror indents. Okay. So this is my set. So again, these documents are all the, so for example, this is for these documents only. So any doubt in indent and spacing part? Yeah, that's a shortcut. It's a keyboard shortcut. So that's a keyboard shortcut, I think. Okay, so next, so again, you go open the dialog box of the paragraphs. So in the second tab, you have line and page break. So you have under the pagination options, you have Udo and orphan control, keep with text, keep lines together, page break before. So by default, Udo and orphan control is enabled. In if you can see the by default, this is enabled. So other things are not enabled. So what does it mean? Udo and orphan is like, for example, so you have a paragraph, certain paragraphs, and then at the end of your documents you have a paragraph. So you have for the particular paragraph you have one line in page number 1, and then rest of that in page number 2. So this one line is called orphan line. The single line that you have in previous page, that is called your orphan line. Now again, you have a paragraph, for example 5 lines paragraphs. In page 1 you have 4 lines and 1 line. in second page. The second page, that is single line in the second page, that is your widow line. So we don't want those. We don't want those widow and orphan in our document. So this is actually this not look good, right? You have a one line only in that. So at least you should have two lines. So if you enable this widow and orphan control, what will automatically when you are going to the next page, if the page one can accommodate only a one line, so once you exceed that one line, automatically that line will go to the second page. Okay, the same thing is for the widow control also. Now if it is only a single line, then from the previous page what will keep some other key, what will remove what will come some text from the next page, so that the last line should not be a single line. It should at least have a two lines. You see here in my documents, I have a single line, that because I have disabled the widow and orphan control. Now, if I click it here, okay, now I have to select it. Change. See, so it changes to the next line. Okay, now again, so let's say so see, single line becomes two lines, right? So in that way, like you always you should have enabled this one. So the next option, the keep with next and the keep lines together. This is for like you have subheading in your previous page, then the rest of the text is in your the next page. So those keep text to keep with text and keep with next and keep it together will take care about these two. Now if you are working with some multiple heading, subheading and all these things, so that will like keep with next is for your heading and subheading. For example, so your heading is in the page one and subheading is in page two. Sure. So what if you enable this one, what will be there? The heading that you have in page one, that will go to the page two, and your heading and subheading will be together. Same things, keep it together is for your paragraph. You have a heading or subheading, some heading or subheading in first page, and the paragraphs is in second page. So then the same things will happen. Like your the heading or subheadings will go to the next page with the paragraphs where your paragraph where your paragraphs is there. So those things you should enable it. And page break, do not select this page break. Now what will happen if you are giving page break, every page you will have a page break, every page, then there will not be a continuation. Okay, so if you don't enable it, if you need page break in certain documents, in a certain part, in certain sections, that you can give it, and that we'll see them in subsequent sections. But do not enable the page break. Otherwise, you will have page break in every page. So then your documents will not be continued documents. Right? If you are adding some documents, on a new page will be created, and then page, for example, so you have 2 or 3 lines. So in that second page, 2 or 3 lines will be there only. So do not enable the page break one. And formative exception. So the formative exception is all of the like your subscript, superscript, or for example, highlighting something. These all are the formative exceptions, because those things you don't need throughout the documents, right? You want for certain you are for certain word or for certain use only. So those all are the formatting exceptions that you will use only for certain words or for certain sentence. So these all are the formatting exceptions: subscript, superscript, highlighting, or the text effects. All these things are formatting exceptions. But whatever the default format, these are not applicable for whatever the default format that you have selected. Now again, text wrap. So the text wrap is basically is for it is for that if you are creating some text box or something like that. So in generally in default it will be a one line text box. If you are writing so one line, so text wrap will be like based on the size of the your text box, whatever the box you have created. So that will like automatically it will change the length and the size of the text box if you are selected, if you have enabled the text wrap option. So I will see it later. So let's set it as a default. We have enabled the video and orphan control, keep with text, keeps line together. So everything so you have enabled, because we are talking about the writing thesis or the some research writing. So that will work on with the headings and subheading, right? So let us enable those two. Make it as a default setting. So for example, let's say it is for only these documents only. So this is all about the font and paragraph settings. Okay, if you have any doubts for regarding the font and paragraph setting, paragraph formatting.
Maybe by default setting.
Default formattings will be there. Yeah, the default formatting will be there. For example, your default font size is 12, right? So your default font size is 12. Now you have changes to 14. Okay, or you have changes your the font style from Times New Roman to Arial, right? Now if you select this,
That is my default.
yeah, default formatting, yeah. Okay, one particular document for clear all formatting. Yeah, if you have not closed your document, then you can do it and redo and undo. That is one option. But once you close your document, so there is no other options. You cannot recover that whatever the documents were like whatever the formattings you have erased, like the additional formatting other than that your default formatting. So you can redo and undo based on if you are in the documents. Okay. Yeah.
What is the paragraph sign?
Paragraph sign. Sorry. I'll just turn it off. I'll come to that. I'll turn it off. I'll come to that. This is actually useful for formatting, so I'll come to that later. So till now, any doubt? ऑनलाइन तो कुछ है, कोई कुछ पूछ रहा तो लगा. So the next part is the document editing. So in document editing, what we'll be talking about different cut, copy, paste, and the different options of pasting. Like as I said earlier, if you are copying something from internet sources and then the background colors will be there. What are the background colors is there? If you are default setting, that is keep it text, that will be there, whatever the your formattings is there in the internet sources or some other sources. For example, you are copying from some PDFs, whatever the sources is there, that will be as it is. So you have different past options that in that way you can, like, if you have selected some text, that text you can paste it as an image. That option is also there in, so you can paste it as an image. So let's see. Before that, one thing is important is there. So see, in the under home in the left, that there you have that cut copy paste option is there. You see the clipboard here. So see, the clipboard, for example, certain paragraphs, one or paragraphs or some things you have copied from somewhere and you need it for multiple times. You don't, for second times, you don't need to again copy it and then paste it. Whatever things you have copied it or copied it, that will be there in your clipboard. Clipboard is your the local storage of MS Word. Whatever things you are copying, that will be there in the clipboard. So if you want to paste it again, then you go to the clipboard and click on that. Place your cursor where you want to paste it. Go to the clipboard and then click on it there. Then it will automatically it will be going to paste it at the locations. So you don't need to copy it again. You don't need to do it multiple times. So see, I have copied previously. I have copied something. Right, so one paragraph I have copied it, so that is there in that, right? So if I want to use it again, for example, so I wanted to use it here again, just click on there, it got pasted, right? So you don't need to copy it again and again for if you want to use it multiple times. Now again, if you want to clear all, then you can clear it all, and if you want paste all the matters whatever is there in your clipboard, that if you just simply you click on the paste all, then whatever there in the clipboard, everything will be pasted where you have placed your cursor. Okay, so then cut and copy is nothing new to all of us. So one the copy is like the from where you have copied it, that the content will be there as it is as in their original locations. But if you cut it, then basically you are removing that text from that locations and you are pasting it some other places. So only difference is that, otherwise the cut copy you will all know what is there. So the important is the pasting options. What are the different option is there? So if I see here you have, see, the first one is keep text only. If you select like if you have selected something from internet sources or other something from there, and you want the paste it as in keep text only, then this will paste it only the text part. For example, so you have copied an equation, but if you are pasting it as in keep text, this will not be an equation, it will be a text. For example, so you have copied H2O. H2 is in a subscript, right? But if you keep it as a keep text, then it will be H2O. Will be as a general word. It will not be in text. So keep text is basically when you are copying some matter from internet, or when it have some different backgrounds on different format or different font size or all these things. So then you can use this keep text, so that whatever the default setting that you have for font and paragraphs, so that will be applicable whatever you are pasting if you are using the keep text only. Okay. Yeah, I'll come to it, everyone. Then March formatting. So March formatting is also like similar things. Like you have your document formatting. Certain format you have is there. Your document have certain format, and if you select the March formatting, so whatever you have copied from somewhere or cut you have somewhere, so the format that the copied the other documents have, it will merge with your current documents. That is, it will convert your current document formatting only. So it will, like here H2O, whatever H2O you have copied, that will come as an H2O, like 2 as in subscript March formatting, because you have formatting in your documents as in subscript format is there, right? So it will come as an H2O. The only thing is that, for example, that the text style, the font style, if it is in Arial, and then your document have default settings of Times New Roman, or your formatting is Times New Roman, so that format thing will be changing. Other than that, then the text structures or something that will not change. If it is equation, like for example, x square plus something, it will come as an x square. It will not come as an x2 if we use the mask formatting option. But if you are using keep text, then your x square will become x2. Next option, keep source formatting. So that will not change your formatting, whatever the things you are copying from other sources. So it will paste it as it is, whatever the format is there in other sources. It will not as an it will be completely different. For example, so you have different background colors. So mostly if you copied it from some internet sources, if you see like there is an the highlight colors or background color, some gray color is there, or if it is different colors in the websites, then those colors will come. So if it is because of that keep it is the default option is for internet option, that because for copying from some internet options, your default setting is this one, that keep source formatting. So if you are selected, if you are copying something from somewhere else, from some internet sources, and then you can merge it, you can merge your formatting. So if you want to the same for similar formatting that you have in documents, so use merge formatting, or if it is only text, you can keep it as an keep text. Okay. Then again, use destination theme. If you are copying some theme, that is applicable for copying something. This is not for your text or something. Some themes you are copying, like a PPT. For example, you are copying some PPT from some sources, and then you want to paste it to your Word or something. So PPT have certain different formattings, different size, and all these things. It have different, right? If for example, so you have some structures in your PPT, and your background colors are different. So that in that case, you can use destination theme options if you want as it is, to paste it as it is. Other option is there's paste specials, like you can unformatted text, or you can format it as an HTML also. So if the paste option under the paste option drop down, there you'll get it on the special paste special. Okay, so here you have that default pasting options. You can change your default pasting option from there. So what do you have? Keep for pastings. See, here we have seen it previously in the options. So keep source formatting, keep source formatting. So you can change it. For example, keep source formatting. For example, so you have changed it to merge formatting, right? Everything's pasting between documents. This is pasting with same documents. Then pasting between documents, let's say merge formatting. Pasting between documents when style definition is conflict. Means you have different styles. So for example, one is like 1.1, 1.1, 1.2. One is 1, then A, B, something like that. Now if you want the similar styles, so then same things. Instead of that, let's say the merge formatting. You can click on okay. So your default setting changed. Your past settings. Now whatever the text or paragraph, whatever you want to copy it and paste it, so it will merge your current document format where you are pasting. Remember, the merge formattings will work only in your current documents, like the current where you are pasting, that formattings will be there in the whatever the matters you have pasted.
Example of this two definition.
Let me try. So see here, for example, you have created some documents using these themes. Okay, using these themes, you have created some documents. Whatever the themes are there. like titles and some inbuilt theme is there for using some titles or something. Different you have you see different title is there, different title format is there. Then heading is, for example, some headings will have some underline, or in some it is not there. Okay, so one now, if you want to copy it in between documents, so if you are like that use the destination theme, if you select the use destination theme, so that will like you will have different theme. Your current document has certain themes, and your destination document from where you are copying that have different theme. But if you are not selected, if you have selected the use destination theme, so then you will have in your current documents you will have two different theme. One is your current document themes, one will be your destination document theme.
One is the source format.
Yeah. So that in that case, it will not take care about your what the theme, the backgrounds and all these things. It will not like copied your themes and all. It will only the matter, whatever the text is there, and along with the format, that heading style like 1.1, or it is on 1 and A B C, or it is a numbering F says 1 1 2 3 4 5. That will that is comes in the formatting part. But theme is like for example, so you have some underline in headings, or you have first you have title, then headings and underline some things, and in headings you have some highlight. Heading part you have some highlight. So those comes under the theme part.
Source and destination is the same thing.
Yes, yeah. Sorry, destination is where you are pasting it, your current document. Destination is your current document where you are pasting it.
Okay, so
source is different. Source is from where you are copying it. Destination is where you are pasting it.
Okay, so use destination
theme, that your current document themes. Yeah, if you are not selected use destination themes, then you are just copy pasting it here. Then you will have different different theme. Applications, writing applications. Application writing format. So one single document, right? By like standard, you are given some standard format or something. Yeah, that. Say like automatic signatures or something like that. So that can be like in like, some PDF. Like you are talking this digital signaturing part.
Also the command that the features are written in digital signature.
Okay, like designations or all these things. Yeah, that you can get it from some internet sources or also. And if I have, I'll check. HTML is like it is actually basically HTML is it will create some code actually. Like for example, so you want that you copied it from some uh, internet sources. That HTML as in like link something link kind of thing. Okay, I'll show you some examples of that. So next comes the format painter. So format painter is like for example, you have if you want to copy only the format, if you want to copy and paste it somewhere, only the format. You don't want to you don't want the text. You just want the format, whatever the format you have, that you want to copy it and paste it somewhere else. So for example, let's say I am giving it as an heading one. This one I've given it as a heading one. So you should change it. You change it. So we'll see the how the styles is working. So for example, let's say this I have as a heading one, but I want the same formatting in my previous paragraphs also. What you have to do? You just select this one, click on the format painter, and just paint it on the paragraph that you want or a text that you want to have the same formatting. So just paint it here. Didn't change. Wait. See, you have it as changes to the heading or heading one or whatever the formatting that have, but the text is not copied or pasted. Only the format has been changed. Now see you didn't you have like you are, so now again you have to copy it again. If you want to change, if you want to use the format painter multiple time, then once you select this text, click on, double click on the format painter, then you can use it for multiple times. See, okay, it's not, why it is not. Why it's not working. For some reason the double click on is not working. Okay, for some reason double click multiple, for multiple it's not working. If any, if a system, check it if it is working in your system. I don't know. It's working, right? I don't know, for some reason it's not working here. But like if you are clicking on double click on the format painter, then you can use it for multiple times. Okay. So the reviewing document, that is tracking changes and then accepting, that we'll see later when you will be writing some things on or in template with some content. Okay. So for time being, we're skipping this one. So our next section is heading style. So this is one of the important features of MS Word, because that in the use of that heading styles will depend. It will help you to create your automatic table of contents. Contents now again, if you are changing some content, you don't need to bother about like I have to manually change my page numbers, or I have to, if I am, so for example, I have removed certain subsections or certain subheadings. Now I have to remove it from the table of contents. You don't need to do it if you are using properly, if you are using the heading styles. So that will it will take care about the table of contents. Only things you have to do once you complete your editing, then you just click on the table of contents. You just update your table of contents. So that will you take care about whatever the changes you have made in throughout your documents. Okay. So you should make habit of using heading style whenever you are writing some document. heading style will help you to reduce your times, that the unnecessary time that you will be using for your table of contents or some things else like page number, all these things. So before like starting the heading style, first you should choose your that multi-level listings, whatever the multi-level listing that you will be using, which one you want to use. Right? So you have different types of multi-level listings, which one like different types, whether you are like for example 1, 1.1, 1.2, 1.1.2, those you are using those things, or if you are using like first what you may want like my heading like one as in my chapter 1, and rest it will followed by 1.1, 1.2, 1.1.1, those things I want. You can change it, you can customize it, but first you have to select certain multi-level listing to using properly the headings, subheadings, all these things. So first you need to select a multi-level listings. Okay, and you can customize your multi-level listings. So if you see define new multi-level listings, or here you can add or remove something, define. So you define your new multi-level listings, or you can change you the numbering system, numbering part you in the heading list, you will see it. So for example, let's say I'm using this multi-level. So this one I'm using. So accordingly, see it has changes. My heading 1 is 1, heading 2 is 1.1. Heading 2 is my second order multi-level listings. Then again, if I use the third one, that will be 1.1.1. This will be my heading 3 will be my third order multi-level listing. Okay. So based on the multi-level listing that I have selected, it has changed. So first step to use your heading, first steps you should select your multi-level listings to use your. Otherwise, the default, whatever the default heading list is there, you will use that one. So you should choose your heading listing as according to your requirement. So now see, in the style you have heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, heading 5, whatever the headings you want up to a certain level. If you want up to 5th level, then you can use 5th level, 6th level, whatever the level you want, that you can use for heading. So now see here, if I select this one as a heading, it is not following the whatever the default font that I have used. For example, heading 1. See, this is not the font that I have selected for as my default one, right? See, in style there is one column that is normal, right? Normal. Your normal is like your body text. The settings that you have changed, or you have changed set as a default, that is for your normal text, that is your for body text. This is not applicable, those settings are not applicable for your heading or your subheading. Clear? Those things is not applicable for your heading or subheading. So you have to change your heading and subheading formatting from your heading style. Okay. So the first level heading, for example, right click on the first level heading, then you'll have a modify options. Once you right click on your first level heading style, you have your modify option. Now see here the default is your Calibri light. Okay, so but you want times new roll, let us change it to. So for example, say our first level heading is 16 font, we need a first level heading 16 font, second is 14, third is 12, fourth 12 plus 12 and italic. Okay, for example, let's say we are considering up to a fourth level. Okay, so the first is 16 bold, then I have the color, let's say color is automatic, the alignment is justified alignment, this is the spacing. So for let's say if I have a multiple lines of heading, the 2 lines or 3 lines heading, I don't need any additional space. Okay, so that is for your spacing. This is line spacing and this is indentation. So let's change it here in that. So first if you click on the format, there you have font, paragraph, tabs, border, different formatting options, formatting tabs you will get. So first check, these are the font one. So say I've already selected the font, Times New Roman, we want bold and 16. advanced, make it as advanced option as this is character spacing, so 100%. We don't want any extra spacing, or we don't want to stress our headings. Okay, we want the simple line only. So this is all about the format. Then again, let's see the paragraphs formatting. So same things, we don't orphan controls, keep line with text. This should you choose to select. Now if you don't want hanging, see sub 0.76 is already there for your first level headings. 0.76 is already there, because the number, first you will have number, and then the word, for example, one dot or two dot or whatever, then you have text. So because of the left indent is 0.76, accordingly it has selected a hanging indent of 0.76. Remember, when you have selected for text, the default was 0.63, right? Default was 0.63, but for heading 1 it has a 0.76 of in default. If you want to change it, you can change it. Okay, but you should give hanging indent for a heading, or like my heading, subheading, second level heading, third level heading. Otherwise, numbers or text will be in the same alignment. So better to have an alignment in the text. Then so now for a heading, the first level heading mostly starts from a new page, right? Mostly start from new page for your first level headings. In most of the, like if you see book or thesis or whatever, it starts from a new page, right? So if it is starting from a new page, if you can neglect the spacing before spacing, right? But what important is the after spacing. After spacing is required. For example, we are skipping the before spacing of a first level heading. That because if it is starting from new page, so you can start from the top itself, right? So make a spacing, make it a 0 for before, and let's say 12 for after it is 12. Now same, yeah.
For 1.27 is there. If I am changing it to for something else, after that, how can I get back to the default?
A default. You just let's change it. Change it. Click on OK. Okay. Again, go to that. In the you're here. You're not here. You have changed it. It's okay here, right? You change some options, and then I guess it will come. Let's say keep it from none. Let's select it from none. Again, change it to the okay. Yeah, it will come. Select. So line spacing, let's say single line spacing, so you can use exactly in the similarly whatever the text format is there, but your text format here is 16. The text is here is 16. If you are keeping it exactly, then you have to select it as a 16, because this formatting whatever we are doing, this is for the heading one. That heading one. Yeah, the heading one only. No, only the first heading. You have to modify every heading. Different level of heading. First level, second level, third level. So now here comes like, see, this is the tedious job, formatting and documents. This is a very tedious job. You have to change every style, right? Every style. Now here comes the use of template. Once you do all these settings in a single document, you save it as a template. That settings you can, if you save it as a template, that setting you can use multiple times. Those settings, the template. Okay, so that is the use of template. This is whatever we are doing. That is for the different features that what we can do. So this is a one-time job. You have done it. You have to do it for one single template. That template you can use it for multiple times, whenever you want. So that template. So if you are not using the template one, if you are not using template every time, you have to do all these settings, right? So you will be writing the multiple chapters with thesis now. So these settings, this template will help you. You don't need to do it for every chapter. You prepare a template and then you can use it multiple times. So we'll see that creating how to create the template and then setting it. That we'll be doing these settings only. Whatever this discussing today, that setting we'll do, but we'll do it multiple times, the single times, and we'll save it, and then we'll use it for the multiple times. So mirror indents, for examples, there is one thing mirror. Now if you are also, for example, if you are planning to print your documents double sided also, but there are certain documents that you have to print it in a single sided, like see starting part, your acknowledgement, your certificate, and that you have to give it you have to like the single page only. So when you are creating those documents, the like before chapter 1 document, that those documents you should select your mirror indents carefully. So that documents you don't need your mirror indents, because it's a single sided single page printout. It will be single page printout. So when you are writing chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 2, then only you need to select the mirror indents. Otherwise, disable the mirror indents for your other documents, like the cover pages, for your cover page, or for your table of contents, or all these things, if you are not planning to print it on both sides.
A different file for the acknowledgement page.
Yeah.
In a different file and
No, that you can do it from different file, or you can do it single file using section break. We'll see that section break option is there. So based on that break, that you can do it in a single, your whole thesis. You can, if it is like up to a 512 MB, one document can be up to 512 MB in MS Word. So you cannot exceed 512, but up to 512 MB you can create a single web, but it will be difficult to handle. So better to write it in chapter wise and then use it, and then merge it using the master documents option. So that we will see tomorrow. But you can write your thesis in a single documents. There is options section break using different sections. Section break of your chapter 1 is one section, chapter 2 is another sections. Your initial documents will be one sections. That can be done. Okay, so these are the paragraph settings that we are keeping for our heading 1. Then border, we don't need any border. Tabs, like you have already, like tabs is generally basically used for giving indent or something. So you have already given our indent, so let's keep it. Language, don't need numbering. Now the numbering, for examples, right now here, for examples, I want my chapter, you want my this one, like 1 as in chapter 1, the numbering as a chapter 1. So you can define your new number format. So here you see the number format, before 1 you write it as a chapter. Okay, so automatically update, if you like automatically update, if you select is automatically update, that will enable you, like once you say, like for example, once you after writing your documents, then you want certain changes in your heading 1. Okay, so if you select it automatically updated, then whatever the changes you have done in the formatting, that will automatically update to your wherever you have given your first level of heading. Otherwise, you have to manually change it again. So just enable the automatically updated, then it will automatically update your heading. So for example, let's say now I have given this in as a chapter. So you see here, this one previously I have given it as chapter 1. So that is in chapter 1. Now you have no. So for example, I have chapter 1 is my introduction. Then I have chapter 2, my literature. So this is, for example, these are my five chapters. Okay, so automatically let's just these are everything is comes under like your first level of heading. Now under introduction you have certain subheading, second level or maybe you have third levels. Okay, so now let's change the second level headings, modify the second level heading. So same here, default text is Calibrium to everything. So just whatever you have done previously, same things you need to do it. So for example, let's say the text size you're keeping it as a 14 here. For second level, you're keeping it 14. Bold, automatic. Then click on this one. So font tick, I have already tick paragraphs. Same things for now. Now here you can you can give it a before and after. So because after heading you need certain space for second level heading. So for example, say I'm giving it 12 12 12 before and 12 after, whether it is in paragraph or it is in second level heading, so we'll give you a 12 line spacing. Let's say exactly. So exactly, if it is an exactly, then I have 12 14. Then hanging is by default it is 1.02. If you want to change, you can change it. For time being, let's keep it as it is. So we are not enabling here the mirror indents. Remember that if you need it, you can change it. Uh, Another one is like don't add space. One thing I forgot to tell you that don't add space between paragraphs of the same style. If you don't want any space between your same style paragraphs, you can enable it. Okay, generally we want some spaces, certain spaces in every paragraph, so whatever you are rating, right? Either some indent or spacing. Okay, if you are giving some indent, first line indent, then it's fine. If you are not giving any spacing in between paragraphs, but if there is no indent, if it is indented 0, first line indent is 0, then you should give certain space to differentiate between these are the two different paragraphs. Statings in that option you'll have options, the unit options. If it is inches, I guess you have the inches, right? So that is fine. Like you can change it centimeter to centimeter. If you are two units are there, 1 centimeter and 1 inch. Then again numbering. So we don't need to change the numbering here, right? Because in the first level we have changed it is to 1 to chapter 1 or chapter 2, chapter 3. Now here we can continue as 1.1, 2.1, 3.1, something like that. So let's keep it as it is. Now click on OK. Now, for example, say under introduction, I want an subheading of, let's say, background. The second one, so these are the some second levels of subheading. So that you can, so whatever you want, you can add. So for example, some examples I have created. Now again, for now I have, for example, I have third level of heading. So similarly that you have here is to modified. Let's modify it. So same things. For example, now you have third level. You can keep it as in 12 bold. Then automatic paragraphs. So let's keep it at 6 hanging is 1.2 centimeter as it is. Keep it in exactly 12. Okay. Similarly for 4, times New Roman. Keep it as a 12 and italic or text size 11, bold and italic. You see, so now I have multiple levels, multiple different headings, right? I have first level headings, I have second levels, third level, fourth level. I have up to fourth level. Okay. So now these are so now see, for example, now if I want to add table of content, see here now how it is. So let's say now I want to create my table of contents. So I have used heading style. So now go to, you can go to the reference. Here you have table of contents. Then you have different style of table of contents. So from there you can use it or you can change it. For example, I have using this one. See, automatically my table of content has been created, right? Everything's are in page 2. That is why the page numbers is there. Everything is so automatically whatever the levels I have, whatever that's accordingly chapter 1, then 1.1, 1.2, everything has been created. I don't need to do it manually. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Huh. Yeah, that will cover tomorrow. That's the master documents. So in that master documents, you like that or table of contents can be created automatically based on your chapters and all. The chapter 1, chapter 2, right? So now you see that you can change the format of table of contents. Same things under the under this one TOC. See here TOC is there. The format of TOC is there. So that headings you can change here. This also you can modify. So this also you can modify accordingly. And then so it's your you can do it by yourself. You change it whatever format you want, and then yeah, sure. So that also can be that formatting can be changed similar in a similar fashion. Click on the TOC in style. You'll get it the TOC, the TOC format. So that click on the TOC and then you modify it. So the similar the formatting, the same format you can change. So table of content for table of content. TOC is for table of content. The text formatting for table of content. So you see, in table of content, you have multiple heading. Heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4. So if you have a fifth level of heading, so you have to format it for heading 1 to heading 5 accordingly what are the text format you want in your table of content. Okay. So that thing you need to do. So for example, so in our documents we have four up to a 4 level. So we need to do it from 1, 2, then 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that you can do it by yourself. So I'm skipping it for time being. So let's see, like if I change the page number, for example, like I'm changing it a page number. So the break for page break for time being, just ignore the page break I'm giving. Now here you see I have changes certain page number, right? I have changes some page. Here I'm just changing the page number only. So you just ignore the page break here I'm giving. We'll talk about it different page break and section break later. Now see, I have changed the page number here. So I don't need to change my table here manually. You just click on the update. So here we will have options, two options, update page numbers only and update whole table. Now if you have changes only the page number, you have not changes your heading and subheading, then it's fine. Now or else you have to update your entire table. So you will select update entire tables or something, see automatically my page number has been changed here in the document. Right? So thus you don't need to change your page numbers or the contents manually. Now if I, for example, sorry, I have removed heading 4 here from introduction. I have removed my heading 4. Okay, so okay, it is showing only till heading 4. Okay, so why it is showing till heading 4? That because that show level is still 3. So I want 4 up to my 4th level. So you just change it to 4 and then click on OK. Sorry. So let's remove something. So from heading. So for example, like now, see here I have heading 4 right now. So heading 4 under chapter 3, I have heading 4 also, right? So now remove heading 4. I don't need heading 4, so I'm removing that heading 4 one. So then again update your table. You'll see that heading 4 has been removed from here itself. See now you don't have your heading 4 here. It has been automatically erased since you have removed it from your documents.
Table of content is also included as marked as page 1.
Page 1.
So, but my chapter, let's say, starting from page 1.
Yeah, that you can. That also here. We'll talk about it later. Okay. Yeah, that also we'll talk about it. Because for example, like up to a table of content, you want a Roman page numbering. Then from introduction of chapter 1, you want from numeric page number from 1. Yeah, so that will cover. We'll cover it under the page number sections also. We'll cover it there. So any doubt or any questions from till now? This is all about our session 1. ब्रिजेश ऑनलाइन में कुछ क्वेरी है क्या? Yes.
I've used different headings, but coming in different styles, so I have to change the style also.
Yeah, but most probably you have selected some themes here.
Okay.
Under the design, you have selected this theme. That is why.
So what?
Okay. Under theme, you can click none. I guess none option will be there. Reset to theme from template. So then you. So that is because of that you have used some theme to that theme.
How should I remove the? Like I want it like that.
Okay. See, click on in that drop down. Is there any none option or something? Reset to the default style list. Yes. Now you have to change your accordingly that the style one, and you have to select it. Which one is your heading 1, which one is heading 2.
So I'll select and
you have to modify it.
Oh, okay.
Then modify it and accordingly. Okay. You don't need to change. See if you are selecting some theme. So that itself is an like template.
Okay.
Okay. So for certain like using different like you have different template. Yes. Okay. If you have don't queries, and that's all for first session. We'll start from 2 p.m. for second session. Yeah. Well.